Hello students, welcome to this session. I've just solved this NEET test 78 which came very late in the night, so I've solved it in early morning, and here I am with the physics analysis. Now it's clear because of too much tests, now the quality of the test is going very down. This paper is full of errors, full of typing mistakes, and that's why it took me very much cuts and very much time to get into this final recording. So it was actually a painstaking effort from me. You can see these circles 1 2 3, this even fourth one also, fifth, sixth, 7 questions has errors, or you can say some printing mistakes or something like that. So plus the paper overall is not easy. I have regarded 11 as tough, 13 as easy, and 21 as medium. So because of the errors, because of the printing mistake, because of the toughness level, I'll advise, if you have not attempted and you have not very good in physics, skip this test. There's no harm in skipping a single test. Otherwise, if you have given the test, I can say because of those errors here, if you score 100, that it's okay, and if you are very good in physics, then you can have 140 plus score in this paper. Because of the too much mistakes, it basically derails you. If the data is not given, if the question is not appropriate, it's not good for the students. So I seriously think if they are getting that much tired of giving to the papers, it's better shuffle the previous questions and give, instead of trying this new questions and coming up with so many errors. I'm really disappointed by the NTA in this particular test. It was not expected. It's you can say it's far worse than any simple institute test. Now the first question. The electric potential between a proton and electron is given by V is V naught ln by R naught. When R naught is a constant, assuming Bohr's model to be applicable, write a variation of Rn within. So because we have this potential, so the field that is minus dV by dr, that we can say is going to be, because log of R will is 1 by R. So that means the force is QE, that is also proportional to 1 by R, that is mv square by R. So that should be proportional to V square, which implies V square is constant, or you can say V is constant. And the Bohr model says mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. So since V is constant, it becomes R is proportional to N. So I'll go for option A. So again, it's a standard one. Probably you must have done such question before. Whenever Bohr model is written, you have to write mvr equals to nh by 2 pi. Okay, next. Work function of A is equal to the ionization energy of the hydrogen atom in the first excited state. So ionization energy in the first excited state of hydrogen is 3.4 eV, that is phi of A. The work function of B is equal to the ionization of helium plus ion in the second orbit. Second orbit means it would be 13.6 into 4 by 4, that is 13.6 eV, that is phi of B. Photons of same energy are incident on both A and B. The maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons emitted from A is twice that of photoelectrons from B. What is the value of E? So in the case of 1, Ka max would be equals to E minus 3.4 and Kb max would be equals to E minus 13.6. Now what is given? Energy of photoelectron from A is twice. That means E minus 3.4 is twice of E minus 13.6. So what you get? You get E is equal to 13.6 into 2, that is 27.2 minus 3.4. So what we have, this comes out as 12 and 4, 8, and we have this 6 and 3, 3. So it would be 23.8 eV. So just do what they have given in the info and you will get the result. Next. So this is option A. Next, what we have, coordinates of the CM of a uniform flag-shaped lamina. Okay, flag-shaped lamina of mass 4 kg. Coordinates of the same are shown. So if you do this, let me divide it like this. This is what we have. This length is 1, this length is 1. So this length is 1, this is 1, and if you can do this, what it comes out, it is like this. So if I can do it as the 4 equal parts, I can divide. So 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg. So where will be the CM? So what I can do, these are the 4 CM of the 4 individual parts. So CM, because all are identical, so what I can say, XCM, this x coordinate of the 3 one is 0.5. So 3 times 0.5 plus this one, this would be 1 times 1.5, that divided by 4. So it comes out as 1.5 plus 1.5 by 4. So it is 3 by 4 meters. So x coordinate is 3 by 4. So you are left with B and C. And what is the y coordinate? you have 2 here, 2 into 2.5, 1 into 1.5 plus 1 into 0.5 divided by 4. So what you have, 2.5 into 2.5, this is 1.5 and 0.5, that is 2 by 4, that is 7 by 4, so 1.75. So go for option B in this particular case. So B is the correct one. Next, the masses of the 5 balls at rest and lying at equal distances in a straight line are in GP, okay, with ratio 2, and the coefficient of restitutions are each 2 by 3. The first ball is started towards the second with U. Find the velocity communicated to fifth ball. So just see between any two balls, let's say if it comes with U and this is M and this would be 2M. So because both are at this one is at rest initially, coefficient of restitution is 2. Let's say after collision it becomes V1 and let's say it becomes V2. So what we have, M times U is mv1 plus 2mv2, that is U is equal to V1 plus 2V2 first, and then using that restitution equation we'll have V2 minus V1 is 2 by 3 times of U, that is 2. So if I write V1 is V2 minus 2 by 3 U, and the first one U would be equals to V1 is V2 minus 2 by 3 U plus 2V2. So what we get, 3V2 is equal to 5 by 3 U. So V2 is 5 by 9 U. So after every collision the amount of velocity transferred would be 5 by 9. So for the fifth ball you will have the number of collision as 4, so that V5 I can go directly, I can do this 5 by 9, 5 by 9, so it will become 5 by 9 to the power 4 times U. So you can directly go for option D. This is how the question wants you to attempt the question, do for one and let's say extrapolate it for the rest of the one. Next, a simple pendulum is oscillating with an angular amplitude of 90. If the direction of resultant acceleration of the bob is horizontal at a point when the angle made by the string with the vertical is okay. So let me draw this figure. Because this is starting from here, it goes like this. So let's say at this position when it makes an angle theta, this is horizontal. So if acceleration is horizontal, first of all what I know, one acceleration is AT, one acceleration is AC, and because this angle is theta, I can directly say this will also be theta, because the angle between lines is same as angle between perpendiculars. This is perpendicular to this and this is perpendicular to this. So what I can have, tan theta is AC by AT, and AC you know is equal to V square by R, and AT is G sin theta. So if I do this, what we have, G sin theta into tan theta, that is sin theta upon cos of theta, is equal to V square, and V square is 2GH, and H here is equal to this thing which is R of cos theta upon R. So this R and R goes, this G and G goes. So what we have now, we have sin square theta is equals to 2 cos square theta, that is what we are getting. So from here what you get, tan square theta is 2, tan theta is equals to root 2, tan theta root 2 means this is root 2 1 theta, so this would be root 3. So what I get, cos theta is equal to 1 by root 3. So we'll go for theta is cos inverse 1 by root 3 for this particular case. This is question number 5. Next, we have a disk of radius r is spun to an angular speed omega naught about its axis. Okay, so it is omega naught about its axis, and then imparted a horizontal velocity of magnitude with its plane remaining vertical. Okay, the coefficient of friction is mu. The sense of rotation and direction of its linear speed are shown in the figure. Choose the correct statement. So I can say it is not pure rolling. With this point is definitely drifting forward, because this will give it velocity here, this is also giving velocity here. So disk will start rolling without slipping in the direction of V naught. Slipping will never be ceased. Disk will return to initial point. So what we will have, first of all, let me calculate the about this point, what we can say initial point of contact, let's say A. So what we have in initial angular momentum about A, this one would be mv naught r of the CM, that is like this, and plus what we have, this is in the C frame, if I do this would be I omega naught, that is mr square by 2 into V naught, and this is going to be like this. So what we have, this is mv naught r, and this is minus what we have, sorry, omega naught and not V naught, this is omega naught, so it is minus mr square omega naught by 2. This is what we are getting, and this is like this. Now the value of omega naught is not given. The disk will start rolling without slipping in the direction of V naught. In the direction of V naught you have slipping will never be reached. The disk will return to initial point. So in this particular case it's tough to make out, I think. So it is the initial angular momentum. I cannot comment without knowing the particular values relation between V naught and omega naught. So here it's tough to make up, and this D option here, which I have not taken complete screenshot, it would be none of these. That is what I am getting. But here if I check the question from the sources, it appears that this there is something missing. This velocity V naught should be omega naught r by 4. That is the original question. If I take that omega naught r by 4, so what we will have, mv naught minus mv naught r by 2, like this. So definitely what we have, this is going to be, let's say, start rolling without slipping in the direction of V naught, I can directly say. So in that particular case it would be, it will start rolling without slipping in the direction of V naught. That is what I can directly make. Okay, V naught is omega naught r by 4, so I have done a mistake here. Okay, wait a minute, it would be V naught is omega naught r by 4, that is omega naught r by 4 minus r square by 4 minus m omega naught r square by 2. So it comes out as negative. That means finally it will roll in this direction, so the velocity will return its direction. So in this case this option is wrong, this option is wrong, and if you will check it, it will return to its initial point, because finally initially it is going forward, finally it would be going backward. So in that case it would be option C. But as per this, because there is a misprint right now, what I can say, it is none of these. They have given the answer as C because they have assumed this thing. So there is a mistake in the question, I can't help. Now 7th, resistors P and Q are connected in the gaps of the meter grip bridge. Balancing point is 1 by 3 from the 0 end. If a 6 ohm resistance is connected in series with P, the balance point shift to 2 by 3 with the same end. P and Q are okay. So first of all, balance point is 1 by 3, that means P by Q is equal to 1 by 3. In second case it would be P plus 6 by Q shifts to 2 by 3, that means it would be, here it was 1 by 3 divided by 2 by 3, as I am wrong, and here it should be 2 by 3 divided by 1 by 3. So here it was 1 by 2, here it will be 2 by 1. So divide the both, P upon P plus 6, what you will have it as 1 upon, what we will say, 4. So 4P is P plus 6, so P comes out as 2 ohms, and here Q will come out as 4 ohms. So the P and Q would be, what we can say, it would be 2 and 4 in this particular case. Next, which one of the following statement is false? Kirchhoff's second law represents energy conservation. Yes, it represents, it is right. Wheatstone bridge is the most sensitive when all 4 bridges are of the same order. Yes, this is right, this is right. In a balanced bridge, if the cell and galvanometer are exchanged, the null point is disturbed. This is wrong. We say this doesn't disturb, so the false statement is C. Next, a current of 10 ampere in the primary coil of a circuit is reduced to 0. Okay, if the coefficient of mutual inductance is 3 and EMF in the secondary is 30 kilovolt, the time taken for the change of the current is, so what we can say, E2 is minus M delta I1 by delta T. That is what you can write. So 30 into 10 to the power 3 is, if I check the magnitude only, 3 delta I is 10, I have to check the delta T. So delta T comes out as 10 to the power minus 3 seconds. So go for option C, standard profile of this induction thing. Next, transformer has 2100 turns in primary, 4200 turns in secondary. An AC source of 120 10 ampere is connected to its primary. The secondary voltage and current is okay. So here you have number of turns is doubling, so voltage will double, it would be 240, and current would be halved. You can directly go 240 and 5 ampere. Next, 2 large conducting plates of a parallel plate capacitor are given Q and 3Q respectively. If the electric field in the region between the plates is E0, then the force of interaction is okay. So the force of interaction between the plates is, so here if I do the charge distribution, I know the total by 2 gets on the outer plate, so it would be Q plus 3Q by 2, 2Q here, 2Q here, Q here, and that should be minus Q. Now what would be the field inside? So the inside field, you know, would be E0. E0 would be because of these two, and this would come out as Q upon 2 epsilon naught plus Q upon 2 epsilon naught. That will come out as that would be q upon a epsilon naught that I am going to write. Now because it is going to be q upon a epsilon naught, so due to a single plate would be E naught by 2, that would be equals to q upon 2 epsilon naught. So the force of interaction would be, let's say on this side it would be q into E naught by 2, so that is the force. It will be attracted towards this would be attracted towards this, so we'll go for option D. They have given option C, but I don't agree with this C option, because this is the field. Here the field will be 0 outside, here the field will be 0 outside, so you cannot take the complete charge here. It would be q E naught by 2, so I'll go for option D here. Next, a solid ball of radius r has a charge density rho given by this. The electric field outside the ball is, so what is the outside ball? Because it is spherical distribution outside the ball, you can directly write as q total upon r square. So just find out q total. Q total I can do from integration, that is rho is rho naught 1 minus r by r, taking at r and a small dr thickness. This volume charge is rho dv you write as 4 pi r square dr. Do that integration from 0 to r, you would have 4 pi rho naught coming out. R square integration will give you r cube by 3 minus, and this was capital R, sorry, and this will give you r to the power 4 by 4r, and this is from 0 to r. So what will you have? 4 pi rho naught, it will give you r cube by 3 minus r cube by 4, that will give you r cube by 12. So 4 pi rho naught r cube by 12, or you can write it as pi rho naught r cube by 3. So what we have, k is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This comes out as pi rho naught r cube upon 3 r square. So going by these options, what we'll have this would be, this pi and pi goes, it would be option D here. So again a standard integration one, not easy though. Spherical hole is made in a solid sphere of radius r. The mass of the sphere before hollowing was m, that is complete mass was capital M. The field at the center of the hole due to the remaining masses. Okay, so at the center of the hole, first of all at the center of the hole due to complete. So E, if it was complete, we can directly write the complete field would be minus gmr. So, or you can magnitude gmr, that was r by 2 upon r cube, and it was directed, let's say if I write it x and y, it was minus I cap. So it was gm by 2 r square I cap minus I cap. Now E due to self, or E due to what you can say due to this cavity part. So the cavity part has a, what we have, a spherical hole is made in a ray at the center of the hole due to the remaining masses. So you are not given what is the size of the hole. So size of the hole, as per this question, what is giving me feel, it is like this is r by 2. So because its radius is half, I can say its mass would be 1 by 8. So again going by the same logic, it would be gm by 8, and at the center of it, we know E due to self is going to be 0. At the center the field is going to be 0. So what we can directly say, E due to the remaining one would be equal to E due to the complete minus E due to the self, and that is 0, so it comes out as same. So answer would be gm by 2 r square minus I cap. So we'll go for option C. So minus gm by 2 r square I cap here. So there is no effect of the cavity on it. At what height in kilometer over the Earth's pole, the free fall acceleration decreases by 1%? Because 1% is a small change, I can say for small change, you know, g becomes g naught 1 minus 2h by r. So to reduce by 1%, that means to reduce by 1%, we have 1 minus 2h by r must be equals to 0.99, or you can say 2h by r must be equals to 0.01. So h is equal to 0.01 times r. R is 6400 kilometers by 2. So this is 3200 into 0.01, that is 32 kilometers. So we'll go for option A here. Next, the maximum wavelength of radiation at 2000 Kelvin is 4 micrometers. What would be at 2400? So again the Wien's law, lambda mt is constant. So 2000 into 4 micrometer would be equals to 2400 Kelvin. I'm not writing unit, you can cancel it. That would be lambda dash. So lambda dash would be 20 by 24, you can write into 4. So this is 6, 20 by 6 means 10 by 3. 10 by 3 means 3.33 micrometers. Go for option A. Next, air is filled in a bottle at atmospheric pressure and it is cocked at 35 degree. The cork can come out at a pressure 3 times the atmospheric pressure, then up to what temperature should the bottle be heated? So bottle be heated, I am assuming bottle volume remains same, amount remains same, so N and V are same, so P is proportional to T. So for P to become 3 times, temperature should become 3 times. 35 degree means you know it is 273 plus 35 is 308 into 3. If you do, this is 3 8s are 4 2 3 9 24 Kelvin. So in Celsius it would be 112 and 7 5, it would be 751 degree Celsius. Okay, I've done a mistake. 3 8 24, no, I did say it's right. So it is 751 degree or 651, what I'm getting, 651, sorry, because 12 minus 7 it would be 651. So 651 degree Celsius. Go for option C in this particular case. Now 1 mole of an ideal gas at T1 expands according to the law P by V is constant. Okay, find the work done when the final temperature becomes T2. So again it's a polytropic one. PV to the power minus 1 is constant. Again I'm saying refer to that revision videos I have made, physics in 5 minutes. You will get the answer. So PV to the power minus 1 is constant. So that X you call is minus 1. So work I directly write as NR delta T upon 1 minus X. So what we have, NR delta T is T2 minus T1, 1 minus X will become 1 minus minus 1, that is 2. So what we have, for 1 mole it would be R by 2 into T2 minus T1. Go for option B in this particular case using that theory. Next, two particles M1, M2, MA, MB have same charge are projected in perpendicular field. They travel along RA and RB such that RA is greater than RB then. So because R you know is equal to MV by QB, Q is same, B is same. So if RA is greater than RB, it means MAVA is greater than MBVB for sure. So go for option A. That's an easy one for you. Next, two north poles, each of pole strength M and a south pole of pole strength M, okay, are placed at the three corners of an equilateral triangle of side A. The intensity of a magnetic induction field strength and at the center of the triangle will be, okay. So you have two north poles, each of pole strength M and a south pole of pole strength M are placed at three corners like this. So let's say north, north, and you have this south. Okay, so each have the same strength. The intensity of magnetic induction field strength at the center of the triangle is. So first of all, what I can make it out, let's say if I can say, then north field would be in a particular direction. Let's say typically, let's say going by that positive charge analogy or something like that, we can say just imagine like a charges itself. Just to get an analogy, just imagine like a charges itself that we do. Wait a minute, my alarm is ringing. Okay, so and this is okay. So what we have, let's assume that just to give you an analogy, let's say plus Q minus Q. So the plus Q, this field is this, plus Q, this field is this, and minus Q field would be like this. And because these two will be at 120 degrees, so this E0 will resultant will have at 120 degrees, so it would be E0 here, and this E0 is also here. So resultant field would be double of that due to the single pole. So what I can say, the B at center would be equals to 2 due to the individual field. I can say B0. You just remember, whenever you have two vectors, let's say like this, two forces F and F at an angle theta, the resultant is in between, and we write it as 2F cos theta by 2. So if theta is 120, it would be F. So similarly, that would be B0 added to that B0. And what is that B0? You know that B0 is mu naught upon 4 pi into M upon this distance. This distance you can calculate in an equilateral triangle. You know this whole length is equal to A sin 60, that is this whole is root 3A by 2. So this is the 2/3 of this means 2 by 3 into root 3A by 2 whole square. That is what you will write, mu naught upon 4 pi M upon R square that you have. So this result comes out as, if you solve it, it would be, this is root 3, it comes there, this would be 3 mu naught M upon 4 pi, or 4 pi, you can write it as 4 pi A square. That is what you can have it. If you multiply this 2 also, 4 pi A square, so that would be 3 by 2 mu naught M by 2 pi A square. So go by the option B. So this is again pole strength thing, generally not asked, but they are asking in terms of pole strength. Now, a bar magnet of moment M1 is axially cut into two equal parts. If these two pieces are arranged perpendicular to each other, the resultant magnetic moment is M2, then the value of M1 by M2 is. So bar magnet is axially cut into two parts, are arranged perpendicular to each other. So you have a bar magnet, axially cut means like this. So each one will have half the magnetic moment. If these are arranged perpendicular, the resultant magnetic moment is, so what we have, you have one like this, you have one like this, both are perpendicular. So one is m by 2, one is m by 2, because both are vectors, the resultant we say is m by root 2 in this particular case. So the ratio of m1 by m2 would be, first it was m, now it is m by root 2, so that ratio would be root 2 in this particular case. Next, velocity versus displacement plot of a body moving along a straight line is as shown in figure. The corresponding plot of acceleration as a function of displacement x is. Okay, so this is v versus x. So we know acceleration is v dv by dx, you know. So in this particular case, dv by dx is constant and velocity is linearly increasing, so it is positive and linearly increasing, so acceleration would be positive and linearly increasing. So it is positive and linearly increasing, this goes, this goes, now you are left with b and c. Similarly here, the velocity is, the slope is negative and it is decreasing, so it is negative and will be decreasing, so negative and will be decreasing, so it go for option C, that is the only appropriate one. Next, boy is standing in an open truck is going with an acceleration 2. When the speed of the truck is 10 and reaches to an electric pole, boy projected a ball with velocity 10 and vertically upward relative to himself. Okay, neglect the height of the boy and truck, the distance of the ball from the pole from the where the ball lands. So this is the pole here, and when it's projected, it is 10 with respect to it, because it has 10 also, so it would be, the velocity would be 10 here, 10 here. This is ux and this would be uy. And now there's no point in acceleration of truck, you have to just find the distance of the ball from the pole where the ball lands. So it's simply a projectile with these two things, so it will be landing like this. So r, you can directly say 2 ux uy by g, because it is now in free fall, 2 into 10 into 10 by 10, so it comes out as 20 meters. So it's a straightforward profile, this would be 20 meters. Next, if the coefficient of friction between the wedge and the block B is mu, then the maximum possible horizontal acceleration of A for which B doesn't slip. So B doesn't slip means if it goes with A, so in the frame of this I'll have to apply a pseudo force MA or MA naught, and this is mg. So to keep it balanced here, so what would be that maximum possible means it will have a tendency to go up, so friction would be acting downwards. Then the limiting case, it would be Fs max and this would be n. So first of all, for this vertical balance, what I can write, n would be equal to mg by root 2 plus ma naught by root 2, and what we have, this ma naught by root 2 would be equals to mg by root 2 plus Fs max would be what we have, mu times mg by root 2 plus ma naught by root 2. So this m goes, this is a naught by root 2, 1 minus mu is equal to g by root 2 into 1 plus mu. So this goes root 2, so a naught maximum in this case would be g 1 plus mu upon 1 minus mu. So we are left with option B. So it's a nicely designed one, this is option B. Next, we have two blocks each of mass m joined together using an ideal spring of constant k and natural length L0. Blocks are touching each other and the system is released from rest on a rough horizontal surface. Both the block come to rest simultaneously when the extension in this spring is L0 by 4. Okay. The coefficient of friction between each block and the surfaces, so are touching each other when the system is released and rest on a rough horizontal surface. They again come to rest when the extension in the spring is L0 by 4. So it means extension is L0 by 4, it means they have traveled a distance 5 L0 by 4 from the initial one. Okay, so because both are same, I can say both have traveled 5 L0 by 8 distance, I can say. So for this particular motion, it was going here, so friction acting here, it was going here, so friction acting here. So what I can say, work done by friction plus work done by spring must be equals to delta k, and that is 0. So what is work done by friction? Work done by friction would be on each block would be minus mu k mg into each block goes by distance 5 L0 by 8, so multiplied by 2 times. Okay, plus spring because the spring energy has decreased, so what we will say, work W spring is minus of delta U, that is minus half k, final is L0 by 4 whole square, initial was L0 square because it was fully compressed, that delta k is 0. So what we have, if we do this particular thing, so both coming out as negative. Okay, so the spring energy has decreased, that's okay. So what we will have, this is 5 L naught by 4 into mu k mg would be equal to, if I reverse the sign, it would be half k L naught square minus L naught by 4 whole square, that is 15 L naught square by 16. So what you have, this is 4, this will be 4. So what we are looking for, we are looking for mu k comes out in this case is, this would be 3. So 3k L naught square upon 8 mg, or L naught square, 1 L naught will go, so 3k L naught upon 8 mg, that is what I am getting, and I have this option as option C. So again a nicely designed one. Next, in the options given below, let E denote the rest mass energy of the nucleus and N a neutron. The correct option is, so what happens here, so first of all, when it breaks, so definitely rest mass energy of the reactant must be more, therefore then the energy will only be released. So going by this cannot be option, this cannot be option. So what we have, the correct option we can have is, we can only go for option A. And if let me check here, this 56 and 36, 92, so it is 92 here, this is 235, so this is also 235. So I think both are correct. There's nothing why I reject this and why I select this. I don't get an option for me. This is A and D, both are coming okay. It is 235U. So, and it is 236. Let me check 7 and 7, 14 and 216. It is coming like, it's okay. So it's coming like the same. So for me, I think both are correct. So I'll go for A and D. I can't make out why the D is. So for me, both are correct. I can't make out how to reject it. So A and D both should be correct. Next, 26th. In the given plot, the variation of binding energy per nucleon against the nuclear mass m, the different points shown corresponds to different nuclei. Which of the following reactions the energy will be positive? So A plus B combining to give C plus E. So I don't see A plus B combining to give C plus E. So it's getting some benefit here. But let me check, it's not that easy to say, though looking out like a possible one. Now C breaking into A plus B, it will never be like this. Okay, C plus E, sorry, it was not that. A plus B combining to get C plus the energy. So A plus B can combine to give C, that might be energy liberating. Let me check again, D plus E going to F. So this is not going to happen because they are already more stable. F going into D plus E, that is definitely going to be the more stable one. So that appears more feasible. This A plus B is also looking as feasible, but more appropriate I see is F to D plus E, because it's appear that it would be some at a higher mass number. So A plus B combining, I think that not be that easy. So it's tough to reject that, but more appropriate I'll go for D here. Okay, next one. A coin is placed on a horizontal platform which undergoes a horizontal SHM about a mean position O. If the coin on the platform doesn't slip, coefficient of friction between the coin and platform is mu, the amplitude of oscillation is gradually increased, the coin will begin to slip. So for coin to slip, what we have, because it is undergoing horizontally, so the accelerations would be horizontal. So the maximum accelerations to remain static, that is should be Fs max, either here or here. So Fs max in limiting case must be equals to m into A max. So for the limiting case, that mu Sn, that is mu Smg is equal to m omega, A max is omega square A. So omega square A in limiting case is mu Sg, or A in limiting case is mu Sg by omega square. So the coin will begin to slip on the platform for the first time for an amplitude of, you can say, mu Sg by omega square. Go for option C. Next, and it would be at the extreme positions you can make out. Next, object of 1 kg executes SHM along the x-axis with this frequency at the position 1 meter. The object has kinetic energy of 24. The amplitude of the oscillation will be, okay. So the frequency is given at the position 1 meter. The object has kinetic energy. So we can directly say kinetic energy is half m omega square A square minus x square. Assume that the mean position is x equal to 0. This is displacement, you can assume. So 24 is half into 1 omega square would be, omega is 2 pi f, that would be 4, that is 16 into A square minus 1. So what we have, this is 8, this is 3, is A square minus 1, so A square is 4, so A comes out as 2 meter. Go for option B. Next, go for 29. wavelength lambda 1 340, lambda 2 540, incident on a surface if the ratio of the maximum speed ejected is 2, work function of the metal is. So now maximum speed is doubled, that means kinetic energy is 4 times. So what we have, hc upon 340 minus 5 is 4 times hc by 540 minus 5. So what we have this 3 phi is equal to 4 hc by 540 minus hc by 340, or this phi would be equal to what I can say 1 by 3 of what it is 4 times 1240 upon 540 minus 1240 upon 340. So take out it as common, 1240 by 3, it is 4 by 540 minus 1 upon 340. So take this 0 0 0 thing cancelled, so 124 by 3, what do you have, this is 41.33, and 4 by 54, if I do this, this would be point, and this is 40, that would be again 0, and this would be point is 0, and 400 would be what you can say is a 0.0, it would be approximately 400 would be 7 times 0.07, and it would be 1 by 34, that is 0.0, again 100 will come, 100 will be approximately 0.03, so it is 0.04, so 41 into 0.04, it would be, let's say 1.6 or something, so it would be closest would be 1.85, because it would be slightly greater than this, and it is slightly less than 0.03, so I can go for 1.85 EV from these calculations. Next one, the potential difference that must be applied to stop the fastest photoelectron emitted by a nickel surface having a work function when this light is falling. So you have to find the stopping potential, that is what it is asking for you. So you have to find the stopping potential. So what you have, you know, EVS is hc by lambda minus phi, so this is 1240 upon 200 minus 5.01, so it is 124 or 12.4 by 2, that is 6.2 minus 5.01, so this is 1.2. So the stopping potential would be 1.2, and you write it as what you have, the potential, the difference that must be applied to stop the fastest electron, so it would be 1.2, and generally we write it as negative in that particular case. So this is actually not the right way to give the options, because ideally going to stop it is written, that means it should be negative, so it's tough. I'll better go for minus 1.2, but they have given 1.2. This is not the way the option must be given in this question. Next, two liquid drops have diameters of 1 and 1.5, the ratio of the excess pressure. We know delta Px is inverse to R, so delta P1 upon delta P2 would be R2 by R1, that you will write as 3 by 2. So go for option D. This is the excess pressure that you write, 2S by R in the drop. Next, you have a rod of length L, radius R joined to a rod of length L by 2, radius of same material, and radius of say, okay, L by 2 and radius again, the value of the radius is not available to you. Okay, the free end of a small rod is fixed to a rigid base, and the free end of larger rod is given a twist of theta naught. Okay, the twist angle at the joint will be, so what it is now, so a rod of length L and R is joined to a rod of length L by 2 and radius of same material. So this is the first rod, and let's say this is the second. I am assuming the same radius or whatever it is asking for. I can't say, it would be L by 2. The free end of a small rod is fixed to a rigid base, and the free end of larger rod is given a twist of theta naught, of theta 0 or theta something. It is given the twist like this. The twist angle at the joint will be, I don't think this is the part of your syllabus. This is not what you will make it out, so better leave it. So there is no point in doing this question. If I can see the solution, the formulas that are given, that is nowhere related to you. This twist and everything is tough for you to calculate in this particular case, and plus I think this radius is also differing, so this paper is full of errors. I think they have got tired of making so many papers, and now they are just putting in question from anywhere, typing anywhere, and this is full of errors. This is giving me actually too much time to solve because of these errors. A convex lens is in contact with a concave lens. The magnitude of the ratio of their focal length is 2:3. Their equivalent focal length is steady. What are their individual focal lengths? So what we have, 1 upon f is 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Individual focal length are in the ratio 2:3. Okay, so if I take this is as 2f naught, this would be equals to 3f naught, and 1 upon f equivalent is 1 upon 2f naught minus 1 upon 3f naught, so it comes out as 6f naught. 1 upon 6f naught, that is f equivalent. So f equivalent is 6f naught, that comes out as 30 centimeters. So that means f of convex one would be equals to what I can say 2f naught, that is 10 centimeters, and f of the concave one would be equals to 15 centimeter with negative sign. So it would be, what I have, convex is 10 and that is minus 15. So I'll go for option D. Next, a parallel beam of light is incident from air at an angle alpha on the side PQ of a right angle triangular prism of refractive index n equals to root by root 2. Light undergoes TIR in the prism at the face PR when alpha has a minimum value of 45 degree. Where is alpha? Okay, the angle theta of the prism is, okay, so this undergoes TIR when the alpha has a minimum value of 45. So when alpha is 45, what I will write, 1 into sine 45 is equal to root 2 into sine of R1 I can write. So this sine of R1 comes out as what we can say 1 by root 2, this is 1 by 2, so R1 is 30 degrees. So what it comes, it would be like this angle would be 30 degrees, so this angle is theta, this angle is 90, so this would be 90 plus 30, this is 120 you have, so this is 120. So now what would angle you will have, this angle you know is 60 minus theta, and this will be what you can say 90 minus 60 minus theta, that is 30 plus theta. So for this TIR happens, so sine of a limiting case 30 plus theta into n is equal to 1. So sine of 30 plus theta is 1 by n, that is 1 by root 2, that means theta is 15 degree for you because sine 45 is 1 by root 2. So go for option A, just use the data, you will get the result. Next, you have a solid sphere of radius r, mi I about its axis. It is melted into a disk of radius r and thickness t. Okay, so about tangential axis is also equal to I. Then first of all, when it is melted, what you have, 4 by 3 pi r cube would be equal to mr square into t. Okay, so this is the first thing, that is equal to pi r square into t. So pi and pi goes, so r square t is equal to 4 by 3 r cube first of all. Now the sphere has 2 by 5 mr square, and here the I is same, that would be equal to this mr square by 2 plus mr square, that is 3 by 2 m small r square. So what we have, 3 by 2 small r square is equal to 2 by 5 of r square, that I can write, or I can write from the above one this r square value as 4 by 15 r square. T is equal to 4 by 3 r cube, so T comes out as 5r. So T is coming out as, if I am not done anything wrong, let me check first. This is r square comes out as 4r square by 15, I have written as right. So T, okay, but you were asked for a small r. Okay, so for small r you can say this is r square is r square by 15, so it is what we have, it is what 4r square by 15, sorry, so that comes out as 2r by root 15. So go for option A. I have solved for T, it is asking for r, which was simple, you could have just equated I only. Next, disk is rotated about its axis with a certain angular velocity and lowered gently on a rough inclined plane as shown in the figure. Then okay, it will rotate at the position where it was placed and it will move downwards. No, it will rotate at the position where it was placed and then it will move downwards. So let me check, it will go downwards just after it is lowered, it will go downwards first and then climb up, it will climb upwards and then move downwards. So it is just rotated as shown in figure, and then you have to find out. So first of all, this mu is equals to 1 by root 3 and this is 1030. So you just have 1030 is equal to mu, so it won't go down or up for sure. So first of all it will be like this, so it will, the tendency of this point is to go down, and we have the friction sufficient to cater to it. So friction will be acting upwards and it will be able to hold it up. So it will be able to hold it up in this particular case. Now, so because of this this friction, this angular speed will keep on decreasing and decreasing. This will keep on decreasing, so its angular velocity will become 0, and after that it will move downwards, I can directly say it will move downwards afterwards because of that torque of mg, which will not be balanced by anything else. So this mg torque will get it going downwards in that particular case. So it will be option A. So it's a nicely designed question for you. You can also check for the options also. This is wrong, this is wrong, and this is also wrong. So it will be the only one that you can go for. Next, in the figure, the potential difference between A and B is. What is the potential difference between A and B? First of all, this is 30, this is forward biased. So these two are in parallel to 10 and 10. This would be 5, 5 and 10. So this is 10 and this is 5. So what would be the ratio? This is double, so it will have a double drop. So I can directly make out this would be 20 volt and this would be 10 volts. Or you can do by calculating currents also. Between A and B, I can directly say it would be 10 volts for sure. Next, the combination of gates shown in the figure is again a standard one. This is what we can say. This is NAND, NAND, NAND if you arrange it, and if you can do in any way. Let's say I'll do by that truth table thing, because I don't prefer that boolean one. So 0 0 will be 1 and 1, 1 and 1, AND gives 1, so it would be 0. So 0 0 will be 0, so no NOR. Next I'll do is 0 and 1. So if I do this 0 and 1, it would become 1 and 0. So it would be 1 and 0, 1 and 0, AND will give 0, so NAND will give you 1. So in this case it is 1. So 0 is 1, so 1 0 will also be 1. Last check for 1 1. So if I do for 1 1, it would be 0 and 0, again it would be 1 here. So it comes out as the OR gate. So go for option B here. Next, a monogas suddenly compressed to 1/8 of its volume adiabatically, then the pressure of the gas will change to. So what we have, P naught V naught to the power gamma is P final V final to the power gamma. So P final would be P naught into V naught by V final to the power gamma. So it is compressed, so V naught to 1/8, so V naught by Vf is 8. 8 to the power 5 by 3 would be 30. P naught into 2 to the power 5, that is 32 times P naught. So it is option D here. Go for D option, 32 times the P naught. Next, unit of magnetic moment, you know NIA, N is number, I is current, so ampere meter square. Go for option A. Next, in YDSE, D is this, D is this, lambda is this. The angular position of first dark fringes. So angular position we say would be 0.5 lambda by D for the first one. Linear would be 0.5 lambda D by D. So it is 0.5 lambda is 5460 into 10 to the power minus 10 upon this D, small d is 10 to the power minus 4. This is in radian. Options are in degrees, so convert first of all. So it is 10 to the power minus 4 and 5, so it is 10 to the power minus 7, and it would be 0.5, that would be divide by 2, so this is 273. So what we have, 273 into 10 to the power, what I'll have, and this is 10 to the power minus 5, not minus 7. This is 4 and 5, and this would be 10 to the power minus 5 radian. So converted into degrees, it would be 180 by pi degrees. So 10 to the power minus 5, so I can write it as 0.273 into 1.8 upon 3.14. So if you do this 3.14, so 18 3s are 54, 18 7s are, I'll talk about 90, and then 36, 126, and 5 131. 18 2s are 36 and 13 49. So this would be 0.4914 into 3.14 I can write. Okay, this is the 4 one. Yes, so divided by 3.14, it would be 0.16 degree. That is going to be the closest one for this. So 0.16 degree I'll go for. Next, two identical radiators have a separation of d where lambda is the wavelength of the waves emitted by either source. Initial phase is pi by 4 difference. The intensity at the point distant situated at angle 30 degree from the radiators will be. So if it is at a distance of 30 degrees from the radiators, at a distant point, the screen is at a distance point, so we can take that part difference would be equal to d sine 30. You can directly say that would be equals to lambda by 8. So the part difference would be 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 8, plus you have this pi by 4 already. So what it becomes, it is pi by 2. So the intensity would be I naught plus 2 under root I1 I2, that is 2 I naught cos of pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 is 0, so it would be 2 I naught. So I'll go for option B. In this particular case, it would be 2 I naught. Next, a pipe of length 1.5 meter closed at one end is fitted with gas and resonates in its fundamental mode with a tuning fork. Another open pipe of same dimension filled with air, resonates in fundamental mode with the same tuning fork in this experiment is performed at 30 degrees. Okay, then the speed of sound at 0 degree in the same gas is. Okay, so we assume both are at 30 degree, that is what we can make it out. So first of all, the frequencies are same. So for the first one, the V of gas to 4L would be equals to V in air upon 2L. That is what we can write here. So the V in gas will come out as what we can make it out. V in gas would be what? It would be, let's say, 2 times V in air. So 2 times V in air, 2 times V in air means 720 meter per second. So the speed of sound at 0 degree in the same gases. So you know V of gas is proportional to root T. So this 720 by V required would be, this T is what we have, 303, and that would be at 273. So V would be root of 273 upon 303 into 720. So now what do you have? This is approximately 9, so it 9 by 10 I can write. Root of 9 by 10 into 720, so it is 720 into 3 upon root 10 is approx 3.14 types thing that you typically write. So if I do that calculation, it's not again that easy, but I can make it out. It would be, let's say, 0.9 something, so it won't be that less. So the closest one would be 683 because it would be much closer to 720. So as per the option, it should be 683. Next, the wavelength of two notes in the air are this and this. Each note produces 10 beats per second with a third note of fixed frequency. The velocity of sound in air in meter per second is. So wavelength is given for you. Now velocity of sound on air in meter per second would be. So what you have the frequencies. The frequency we have for the first one would be lambda V by lambda, that is V into 195 by 36. The second one would be V into 193 by 36. Now both makes 10 beats per second with a third note of fixed frequency. That means this F1 minus F2 would be equals to 20 for sure. So this is going to be 20. So if I do the difference, what we'll have, V by 36 will be common, and this is 195 minus 193. 195 minus 193, that would be 2, would be equals to 20. So V is 20 into 18. You can go for 20 into 18 is 360. So go for option D here. Last one. System released from rest with both the spring in unstretched position. Mass of each block is 1 and the force constant of each spring is 10. Okay. Extension of horizontal spring in equilibrium. So what will happen in equilibrium? In equilibrium, you know, let's say if this force is F spring F1, so this would be T. So this is T, this is T. So this would be 2T. 2T will be acting upwards. So this is 2T upwards, and this would be equal to mg, and what we will have now, this would be mg, and because it will have gone down, so the spring force would be acting upwards. So what we will have here, we'll have here 2T plus this F spring, let's say write me F2. So 2T plus F2 would be equals to mg, and F1 would be equals to T. And by the logic, you know, if it goes by a distance x, it will go by 2x. So because both the k is same, so it will go double, so that F1 would be twice of F2. So twice of F2 would be equals to T. So going by this, so 2T will become 4F2, that is 5F2 is equal to mg. So 5F2 is equal to mg, so F2 is equal to mg by 5, that is you write as k x for this one I am writing. So this x would be mg by 5k. mg is 10, 5k is 50, that is 1 by 5 meters. So the above one will go by 2 by 5 meter. 2 by 5 means 0.4 meters. So again, a nicely designed question, and a slightly constrained motion is used here. So this was today's paper, full of too much errors. So it was actually tough to solve because of the errors. Thanks for watching. Keep sharing the